Hey, kids, and welcome to Off the Wagon. I am John Patrick Robbins, aka the Mad Editor, and with me, as always, is my lovely and beautiful, just sultry Texas belle there, Scott Simmons, aka Wonder Boy. How the fuck are you, Scott?
I'm doing well. It is very lovely to be here again, and I am drinking some of the worst beer I've ever had.
You, you know what your problem is? Well, I'm actually having some. Well, any beer is shitty beer. I'm having some Yingling, and you are having partaking of some weird ass yuppie IPA beer. Because you're going to truly embrace your hipster, tight jeans, man bun ways. I'm glad you finally you've embraced Boshida and now you are going the true way of the warrior.
Well, I didn't really drink this beer by choice, John, but you never look a gift glass in the mouth.
Like what? Again?
Yeah, just you never look a gift glass of beer in the mouth.
Yeah, a gift, it's supposed to be a gift horse in the mouth, dumbass. I mean, really? Mm,
whatever. On a more relevant note,
yeah.
like, what do you think about all these upcoming projects?
Well, Scott, that's funny you ask. As anybody knows, Whiskey City is John Patrick Robbins. Let me emphasize John Patrick Robbins and Scott Simmons. Kind of like the way with the mags, by the way, because we don't mention this, but I'm going to mention it because it aggravates the living shit out of me when people want to address. There's a reason that I'm called the editor in chief because I did come up with these places, and if people can't get that right, then I'm gonna have to give them a spanking for being naughty, Scott.
I mean, it's not like you run it regularly or anything, John.
Oh, I know. I mean, not everybody can be the dope fiend occasionally, right? Like, as it was called. And I probably, I stole my idea. That's okay. You stole my cover, you piece of shit. But anyways, and a big shout out to all the single ladies out there. Um, yeah, no, we've got a lot going on at Whiskey City on a serious note. We've got a lot of upcoming projects. We just wrapped one up that we're waiting on a proof, or he's waiting on the proof with John Grenier. You just did really good job with that. Had a that was a good experience. Although that book has taken a while. That's where you talk, Scott. When I get quiet.
Well, wow, thanks. I didn't know that. Yeah, well, that particular book wasn't that tricky. I've had some more difficult projects in the past, but it's always like a learning experience. Like, and dude, every time you fuck up is every time you learn something.
Wow, Scott, whatever project could you be talking about that has taken almost like 2 years in the fucking making? Because obviously we're writing Gone with the Wind here. So whatever project could that be, Scott?
I don't know, John. I mean, they're all just so beautiful, and I just love formatting all of them for several hours. It just makes me
Uh,
so.
well, on a serious note, man, you go to school, and a lot of people think you go to college. You're really in elementary school, but you're very advanced, man. You're like Doogie Howser. You're like a fucking boy genius. But we like that because we don't have to pay you. I just pay you in Skittles. And you really do love to taste the rainbow. That's the official sponsor of Off the Wagon. We're moving up in the world. A lot of people wonder where we've been, and look, we've both been under house arrest. We have not been allowed to tape. It's not like we don't do anything. I mean, I only run umpteen million mags, do a fucking print mag. Yeah, we haven't been busy at all, Scott. Whatever I do with my time.
Well, I scratch my ass sometimes too.
That's true. You know
So,
what?
I did want to ask about, well, it's not really technically Whiskey City, but like just on a semi-related note, like, what
Yes.
made you want to do the whole like Frank Murphy thing with the Syndicate press? Like,
Well, I'm glad you asked. For a long time, I've been doing the characters. Anybody knows, publishing his rights all over the place, and kind of, I don't, I was in between. I was working on a project that just wasn't happening, and it was more of an art project. It was not what would be the typical uh thing that people, when they read me, they think really harsh type stuff. It wasn't that. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, and halfway through, I don't know. I just started writing. I thought, how, it would be cool to have a series of books as the character out there and just have fun with it and do it completely different. Because anybody knows I take a real long time with work. I do take my time. I tend to overwrite, and then I go when it comes to mix it. I don't just like, just sit down and try to like write 50 poems at once. I just don't think, for me, that doesn't work. I like to have a big set of writes, and this one I did, as you know, really quick. But then I was rewriting. I think I forget how many redraft, how many drafts I went through this thing. But I finally got it the way I wanted it, and just thought it would be cool to have it out. And once again, did a great job formatting, because people don't know. I mean, I tell them all the time, I'm not the formatter. Scott is. That's why people contact us and they wonder why we take so long. Well, anybody can slap shit together. There's clearly plenty of presses that love to slap shit. Look at my first book, is a piece of fucking garbage. Not because I wrote it. That's normally a big plus, but because certain people don't give a flying shit about quality and they just throw it out there. So, and a big hello to them. But yeah, no, it was really, really a fun project, and hell, man, I think that one went really fast, and you've got it down to a science. You really do, man. I have to say that.
Well, I mean, every project really does. You have to learn a lot, and I made a lot of fuck ups trying to get here. I do mean a lot. Like with Bruce Hotter's book, remember just the numbering thing? We did that. I figured it out.
Yeah, Bruce was an interesting. That was an interesting first project, even though people, the first project with Whiskey City was, if you look at Sex, Drugs, and Poetry, once we've got some fixes that, anything is like you said, anytime you do something, you go out there, the first effort, you're going to mess up. But I will argue that our mistakes are minute compared to people who can't even do an accurate page count once. I mean, like, nobody can do that bad. Oh wait, I forget. There's a publisher that does that and and regularly promotes their crap like that. So yeah, I'm very proud of them. They seem to be doing real great. But we do things a lot differently, and that's why we take so long. And another thing is because you're busy. We like that's I get asked. I know you do too, to do reviews a lot of times and stuff like that. And the truth is, I can't do them on a regular basis. It's not because I don't want to, but I have to have some semblance of a life. And anybody knows me, I don't have a life. I know Scott is a wild party animal. We can't keep him inside the house. He sneaks out every night.
Well, I will say your approach to reviews is generally different than mine. I seldom want to do them. I mean, I can make the words look not fucked up on a page, but I don't read everything word by word for the
no, Pete. Yeah, see that, and I didn't mean that in a snarky way. So when we start this out, so people understand. When I said that, people submit a lot of times, they get a misconception of how we work. Me and you work closely. It's a back and forth process. I do a lot of the proofreading. You do you do the formatting. You do, and that's just the truth. But if you'll notice on our interiors, we're not sitting there trying to like, act like we're rock stars or something. We don't make it about that. We make the project solely about the writer. Once I think is what is important. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with some of the stuff that other people do. It's just not the way I do it. And that's what annoys me when people sometimes they want to come over. You know what I'm talking about. They want to come over to our house and our shop, and they want to kind of, I think because they get pushed around other places, in turn, they want to do it to us. And it just doesn't work that way. We work hard, and we're not, it's not like we're making a paycheck off this. And then, we always try to give quality. You give a great interior. Your interiors are great. I always try to do the covers, if I can, and deliver something quality. And it's both of us. It's never one of us that runs Whiskey City. Unfortunately, it's funny though when people want to make the complaints, I take those shots. I don't know why we don't get to share those, Scott.
I mean, it's probably because they're intimidated by how good looking I am.
Jesus Christ. I can remember, it's funny how like some folks go off. I don't know, another character that sent me an email, and of course was going to go forward with the book, and then I didn't reply to him in like 3 weeks or some shit. But people don't get this. Your email is probably 1 out of 50. I get lost in what I'm doing. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not. It's just we both know. And if you think I'm bad, try to get Scott to reply to you.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll say that much. But no, it's a pain in the ass keeping up with emails, especially whenever life happens. It's annoying.
Yeah, Scott, you tell them. I mean, you don't need to run the dope fiend. That's what you have me for. And I don't really run it. But I like that it has such a low standard. Anything I do is setting the bar high. That's what I generally love to do, man.
Well, I mean, you already started. Whenever I let you get more involved with that, you started adding like now up at the dope fiend or something like that, or now at. I'm thinking, damn, that's making the writers almost feel like they're people or something.
That's lovely. I love that you refer to the writing periods, not people.
I'm just bullshitting.
No, dude, that's what's so fucking nuts, is that we can say something even on here and people will take it as like this is the way it is. Just like if you want to look at UTB, aka the frat. I love people throw that name around, especially when they want to target us. They always the frat. People just hate us. Not all of us. You they like, or they're scared of. Brian they love, and me they hate. I mean, so it's very good. It's a very good dynamic we going on. Heaven, hell, and purgatory. You're purgatory, and I'm hell, apparently. But yeah, no, we've got a ton of projects coming up and out with Whiskey City. As we mentioned, John Grenier. Next month, I would look for John Doyle. We do have a book coming up with Dan Prevost, who's right now on a roll. Man, he's got he's got one book out and then another book that's him and I think 2 other writers. I don't, like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect people. It's just I pay attention to what I'm doing and what we've got to get. Because if I don't concentrate on what I'm doing, we go to shit real quick. Because I'm just saying, there's, Scott is, truly the brains of this outfit.
Oh yeah, I will say, all bullshit aside though, I'm actually am looking forward to seeing stuff come out.
Mm.
I mean, like I do think we have some good stuff lined up.
Oh, we've got good stuff lined up. We just got to somehow get it out there. It's just, we have to take our time with stuff because the thing is, if we just rush it, I know us. If we rush something, it'll go to shit real quick. I mean, look how long, for instance, the Black Shamrock took. What was that, a year in the making? And then there were personnel changes. There were people in that the hell, there's a version of it that I've got sitting right here, proof that there were other people in it that just either the way this crap goes, it's like Peyton Place in a writing community. Like, and I know you don't know what that is, Scott, but anyways, it's like a soap opera. 1 minute you're liked, the next minute they hate you and they're going to pull their work and I don't have time for the bullshit. I largely don't. I'm not going to comment on bullshit, nor am I going to talk about it. I'm probably talking here more than I ever have. But it's like, yeah, like I like to drink. I like to have a good time. I just want to do what we're doing. And I am thrilled that that's out. But the Shamrock you did a fantastic job with. I think we learned. I think I had a nervous breakdown on the first print mag we ever did. But, I'm not going to name that, but that was a fucking nightmare. And it was mainly a nightmare because we were just, when you've got people that want to get in their way and they don't know what they're doing, they want to call themselves an editor when they're not, it's just stupid, look at that. And my favorite was the editorial board. of a bunch of people that never did a fucking thing. What was a year sitting around with these fucking goofs that couldn't, they couldn't even order coffee together, let alone get in a room and do anything together. It's all funny though if you wave the money around that what they can do. Look at all the great things that happen.
I'd like you to know, John, that on that editorial board, I have scratched my balls like 3 times last year. it did a lot.
That's true. Well, none of us can be a good editor as Ryan. Ryan is a fantastic editor. A lot of people don't know the Ryan Quinn Flanagan Quarterly is going to be getting ready to be open for submissions very soon, Scott. And I forget, how do you submit to that? I forgot.
Don't you send messages directly to Ryan, or you can call his phone number, give him an auditory?
Yeah, that's true. And you can actually contact us for a minimal fee if you really want to know Ryan, and we'll tell you his phone number. He wouldn't mind, because I know we are good friends. We are brothers, and that's what brothers do.
We also got his address.
That's true. We do. That's scary that we do have his address, but I think he will literally kill us if we give that away. But he killed us to give his phone number away.
That is one weird thing about Whiskey City stuff. It's the fact that on my computer I have to keep a list of a bunch of writers' addresses. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, we have writers' addresses, even people that we didn't. That's another thing. When we started Whiskey City, you remember the original lineup. Mm-hmm. We had a very different lineup of people that we're going to do books by. At one time, there were probably more people at the press, and there was nobody. I mean, technically, we didn't have anything going. We didn't have. I mean, I knew how to put things together. I knew who we should put out. I knew who we should, I knew all that, but we just had to learn everything on the fly. So we said, fuck it, we'll sacrifice my book.
That was very true.
And so we did. But then, now, like, people think it's, it looks like, that's the thing. That's the secret. But you make a lot of that. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, Scott really does a lot. He is the co-editor of Whiskey, yes. I just get annoyed when people always, like, contact me. Hey, Scott. Like, sometimes I've let you contact 5 people, and now they all think you run everything.
Dude, I hate it when they contact me, too.
And you mistakenly, by the way, contacted the wrong person yesterday when you had to tell them that their work was up.
Well, if it made you feel any better, like, before you even had a role at the Dope Fiend, I'm dead serious. Somebody did message up the Dope Fiend asking, like, oh, hey, John, did you read the submission I sent? Wow, and it was not something that I even thought. It was not a great submission. I'll put it like that.
Oh God! You know what? I'm going to tell a little something, and I've said this on other podcasts, but because I don't know if you know, I do quite a few. Like, people say, "Man, he must love being on podcasts." It's not that. I just do them, and I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not dissing anything I do. I don't know. It's like bringing off the wagon back. I like bringing it back because we can get drunk and say where the fuck we want. There's no restrictions. Not there's anything wrong with anything else. I do one with Mark. We're great friends and everything, but with Off the Wagon, it's fun because I can just be a total goof. And but when people submit to the Whiskey, like recently, when you submit to the Whiskey, just because you mention whiskey in your writing does not mean you're getting into the Whiskey. I'm sorry. It's just not the way it works. If you write me about, you're raping grandma and you light the whole house on fire, but I was drinking a bottle of scotch, that's really not going to work.
Well, dude, with a Dope Fiend, people do the same thing. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, this is clearly only about drugs, even though, I put all these other things up. Oh, no, it clearly has to be about drugs.
That's one thing I can say, is that you are free of form. Like, we're not technically, you could call the Whiskey a theme magazine. You can. And I had an interview, it was in Blue Mountain Review. I hope I'm saying it right. And it is a theme magazine that thrives, but in a lot of ways, it's not it is and it isn't. But with you've always put up, like, whatever the fuck struck you. Like, you put up some stuff that, I wouldn't publish. I put up stuff you wouldn't publish. It's just whatever we like. That's the main thing with all this editing and shit. unless you're like some, and there are some that play games, certain writers tell them not to publish you somewhere. They have really long submission waiting list. They're real snotty assholes out of Texas. Not you, Scott, but they are. There's some that play these games, and I don't play that. Like I don't really care. To me, it's about the work. As long as you don't have, if you give me an attitude, I'm gonna give you an attitude because I'm not your servant. It's the way it works. I mean, I do what I do, and the stuff that we do is original, and it's cool. And if you want to be a part of it, we're no drama. Although it seems like we got drama, because people love to jump on us every second that something happens. Like the minute somebody gets either is not on, in no other press does somebody like not do business and it becomes the big issue of the community. Only with us because people hate my guts. And it's unfortunate, but I can't change it, nor do I. I'm not going to lose sleep over it either. I love how you can do whatever you want, nobody gives a shit. That's just because they all think you're insane.
That's part of the fun of it. Like I can, dude, like I set such a low bar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regularly do stuff.
Mm-mm.
I could put things up just because you know what? I like this one guy's picture.
No.
I'm serious. I'll do
Artist
whatever.
one chick.
Wow, I don't know what you mean.
I don't know, Scott. I don't know. I don't have a bad reputation. Well, actually, I do have a bad reputation, but I don't really think I earned it. Well, I guess I did, but I mean, dude, you can't do it. It's like being under a goddamn microscope. Everybody wants to get pissed because you don't like get along with everybody. And in life, who gets along with fucking everybody? Like, what the fuck? It's like they want to turn this into kindergarten sometimes. It's like, meanwhile, the world's like hoarding toilet paper because apparently, like, that will help you fight a virus. Scott, as long as you can wipe your tushy, you're fine. I mean, you don't need food if you can wipe your ass. After a while, you ain't got nothing to eat. I don't think you're taking a shit.
Hey, I know it's more important, John. I could either eat for a week or I could wipe or keep my asshole nice and soft. It's beautiful. I don't know, it's just weird how people get.
A lot of it's the media, man. This shit is bad. I'm not gonna go into because it's just I don't want to talk about it. Like if you wanna, like the media's died. There is no news because all you do is flip on the fucking news every day. Is that fucking nincompoop on there talking, and I'm just like, and that's not a political statement. I don't write politics. I just get tired of it. It's like sometimes this is a key thing, and it's a big, huge, and very serious issue, and that's why I don't joke about it. I don't write about it. There's enough people doing it, but you're not going to change the world with your poetry. You're really fucking not. Sorry to tell you, this is not the 60s. This is not you know what I mean.
I'm shocked. I thought my voice actually mattered.
Mm. I'm just saying, like, if everybody's doing the same fucking thing, that's what drives me crazy. I don't have any desire. I never look at like what other people are doing and think, man, I want to do that. It's not that. I just like I can see some things that are a good point. With the whiskey, when I started it, I saw like how Piker would give publication dates. They if they have 4 submissions, that would be one right a month. I thought, okay, that's cool. San had a good thing going, so I thought, you can see how stuff's done, you can mimic it, but you originally gotta just do your own thing. And I didn't have no book when I became an editor. I know you didn't either. They apparently didn't give us the handbook, Scott. We're not liked.
Well, I mean, I know I'm liked because look at me.
That's
But yeah, I will say as far as the political stuff, I
yeah.
always try to avoid that stuff on the Dope Fiend. Like it's just because to me, it's very rare that somebody can even make it interesting.
Mm.
It's just kind of like a really, really dry topic. It's like, oh wow, please tell me about the same thing that people keep saying over and over and over and over again.
Oh, dude, I don't. It's like I understand it. It's great. There's one drunk, that runs that runs they do political stuff every day. You can send to them. That's what. There you go. You got them. We're not that. I like to entertain. I like the stories about people and stuff like that. And the politics, it's fine. It's just not fine for what I do. I don't largely understand people who piss and moan about our country, don't live in it. It'd be like me bitching about the Queen of England. I mean, I don't live there. I'm not taking shots at people, but honestly, it's just something they're doing because it's in style. And once it's out of style, then what are you gonna do? It's good that you care about your politics, and people say, "Oh, you don't." I am political, but I don't have to share it with everybody because it's not what I do. I write to entertain. You read my books, they entertain you. I don't have any desire to, like I'm not gonna preach to you. I'm not a fucking preacher. Obviously, that would be kind of weird to start with. Hey, how the fuck are y'all doing? Let's have some wine.
It's also just like whenever you start writing like about that stuff all the time, it just dates your work. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to like make references like, oh, yeah, yeah, this one person at this one time, yeah, they said this thing, yeah, and like 5 years later, oh, why do I care about this?
Yeah, yeah, it's no different than when I did the Frank book and we had something in there that was basically a jab at, like I do, they take jabs at me. Here's the thing, you take a jab at me, I'm known for my humor. I can do better than you. Sorry, it's just the fucking truth. So when you want to write on your Facebook wall some nanny boo nonsense, and then everyone would sit there and like and love, and then they wonder why I don't want to do business with them. I wonder why. That's what I hate about the writing community, and probably gonna get in hot water. It's this two-faced bullshit that goes on, and you know what I mean. They want to like straddle the fence. They want to agree with everybody else. Say, oh, you're, like when I'm nice to you and I have done nothing to you, I don't go on public tirades like other people do. This people could say this is a show. You have to listen to it, and just like you, I don't have to read what they say. But it's just my opinion. But I'm still not attacking those people. I just tell the facts, and when you deal in truth and logic, you'll always win. When you want to act like a spoiled child, and then you want to wonder why I don't want to do business with you, that's ridiculous. When I publish you, and you don't even promote what I'm publishing you in, yet you're promoting another rival, and meanwhile you basically want to act like you have nothing to do with us, and you always got your hand out asking for stuff, blurbs on the back of your book, and yet you can't do anything in return. There's a writer that asked me, and I hope he listens to this because then he'll get the answer he wants. And what I'm talking about. Asked me for, I did the blurb on his book. I promoted him. I nominated him for best in that. I asked him for a book review, never got it. I asked him to do this show, never did it. And asked him numerous times. And the thing is, you're not always going to get asked to do these things. So when I take the time out of my fucking day to set aside to do stuff for you, and you just cancel out on me all the time, it's disrespect. And then the last straw is like I publish you, and you don't even. I make sure that came out of our money. See, Whiskey City, unlike other places, does not screw people over. We lose money because we actually spend money for the writer. We actually send the writer their book. Once you should, and there's some presses, there's plenty of them that'll send you a box and everything else. I'm not talking about them. So don't get your, ass in a twist. Just listen to what I'm saying for a fucking change. And, let's all quit acting like we're on our period. It's when you disrespect me to that point and then you constantly got your hand out. No, I'm not going to reward you. And you know what I mean? There's plenty of people that want to push us around. And like, it's my shop. I run it. I have to put my time, money into it. And when I send you a copy of something that you're in, and a lot of people don't, some people will just charge you, and I know why they do. I don't blame them for it because it's expensive. The Shamrock was a ridiculous expense. I love it, but then everybody wants to be in it. If it was around every single day, it would not be unique if it was published every month. And after a while, you're going to run out of writers. The Shamrock is an invite-only magazine. That's what makes it unique. It took 1 year to make. 1 year to put together to get rock solid, and it is rock solid, and it's got some great writers in there. We've got our brother, we've got Alyssa, we've got the whole 6 foot swells, which I loved. You got the family in there. They're great, and I love that whole crew can write. They can just write their fucking asses off, and I enjoyed it. And then of course you, man, you really shined in that. Once that's another thing, man. You've really been writing your ass off lately. So, Scott, let's ask a question. When can we finally see this magnificent fucking book that we've heard about and we've never seen from you?
Well, you might see it someday. I mean, that's all I can really say. I mean, it's not like I mean, parts of it are written, parts of it aren't. So, eventually it
Oh,
will be out there, but I highly suspect it'll be, very large, like my last couple of books, like Catcher in the Rye or something
oh,
like that.
wow.
I didn't
You,
actually write it, but whatever.
I was gonna say I love your book. It's fantastic. You and J.D. Salinger are some of my favorites. Like on a serious note, are you ever gonna produce this book? Like you're doing so like, what's made your style change, man? Because you used to be really outrageously crazy, and now it's like it's pinpoint accurate. So where did this change come from?
Um, Really, I mean, it just came from, for one, obviously just being around like writers like you or Todd. I mean, you see their stuff eventually, you kind of get something in your head. It's like, oh wow, I can say things in a shorter way. I can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just experimented for a while. Like I actually, even though I know you hate these, I actually just as a joke,
Mm-hmm.
it started with me playing around with haikus. I'd be like, what's
I
the
knew it.
dirtiest I can say in a couple syllables?
I don't hate haikus, but I knew it. I mean, I know you. And yeah. But then again, that does teach. I think sometimes learning the economy of words is, like and I am one of the more long-winded people. So I'm not going to say anything. I can do a quick write. I don't do lots of them. But if you looked at gas pumps, that's where it changed for me. When you go from like a cold beer, once I just people love the book. It's not necessarily, it doesn't hold all the great memories for me, as you know. So that's a project that took way too long to get done. I was so eager to get it out. I just handed it over. I regret it big time. Um, it's still my book. I don't give a flying shit what anybody says, and they can kiss my ass because your book is always your book. It's not for sale. It's still mine. We have a press, so now we can put it out. Um, but when I got done with that, I wasn't ever going to do another book. And then Mark gave me a chance to do gas pumps. And then that's where, because you know how rushed that was. What was like, that was like, we had to get it done in a short amount of time. And you know me, I don't get things done really fast. And that's where the quick writes came in between the fiction, mixing the fiction with longer poetry. And yeah. But I am really impressed with your work in the Shamrock. Not only your formatting work, but your honestly the writing you did was really really top notch, man. It was really really fucking impressive. You outdid me, man. So it's like it was really good. You know, I mean, I was only busy editing, but
Yeah, John, it's a hard work. Nah, I appreciate you saying it though, but I don't know. There's always something. You have a
mm,
you have a thing in some of your rights that I'm still like. I don't know. I just find it neat. It's
mm,
for the same right. You'll get something that's so depressing. I kind of thinking, damn, I better start like tying the rope now. And I'll somehow end up laughing at something you said in it because it has that weird, like,
yeah,
sad yet like fucked up sense of humor to it.
duality. Well, here's the thing. It's like going deep. They got like me and Ryan talk about this. Of course, we have to mention we get paid from the Church of Rhinontology, but the deep cuts. I think of them like albums. We both do. The deep cut. Then you can go down there, but you can't just do that all the time. You're just going to depress the reader. So I think about I make them for myself. Number one, these books, but when you do them, I mean, you got to have that kind of duality. You have to have that almost like yin and yang, like it's like, yeah, I can get you on something that's really depressing, but then I can turn around and I make it humorous because like if it's just like depressing all the way, who wants to read this? It's like listen to the fucking what are they called? The Smiths or some shit. Once I know everybody's gonna get pissed at that, but I never could stand Morrissey. Anyways, yeah, it's really great. I want to kill myself 100 times. Just fantastic. It's just not my thing. I mean, I like to, I mean, but then again, as I've been called a hack by some writers that honestly, you know, I do love that when you want to threaten me, you want to send me your books, because the thing is, man, I'm never going to run out of toilet paper. Those things are thick. Page is a little bit rough.
Well,
You
maybe
ever get a paper in your
it
ass?
seems like the most nonsense way to be threatening. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send money to give you a book you don't want to read. Take that.
Pretty much. I mean, like, it's like my thing is with me is when you're out of my network, when you're out of my, dude, I don't have no time. It's like, here's the thing: concentrate on what you got going on, and don't copy everybody because you think you want a title. This ain't a fucking title. This is a burden sometimes. Being an editor is a pain in the ass. I don't care what anybody says. Unless you're sitting, like, I'm not sitting the head of a board that everybody else is doing everything. I got me and you. And a majority of the work, like when it comes to whiskey, yeah, I'm uploading stuff. I'm putting up, like, I know how to work Blogger. I didn't learn how to do it last week and run around and call myself a co-editor and, like, not talking about you, of course, but and fucking act like I'm the real editor when I'm not. I actually do. I started this shit, and it's not shit, but that's how I talk. And that's the thing. Just get off my ass. Like, some people judge me so harshly, but then again, they want to come to me at the end of the evening and ask for something. That's what I don't understand. Like, it gets fucking annoying. It really does, because I bust my ass. And the thing is, I'm not just pushing me. I mean, how many times have you seen me at the whiskey? That's my biggest argument. I'm there, what? Like, fuck, I don't know. Do I have five
Uh,
rights there? I don't even think so.
uh, I don't think it's even that many actually. I'd really have to check, but it's not very common.
No, it's just fucking annoying. But yeah, sending shit, like, when people just want, it's just childishness and silliness, and then you want to criticize all the shit we do. The thing is about the stuff I didn't do it so I could get, I don't know, this poetry famous is the dumbest word I've ever heard in my life. It's not, you're not famous. Nobody knows us. There's people who know us, but they're largely in a community of other writers, and if they respect you, that's cool. Like, I only care about the people that dig what I'm doing. I don't really care about the people who don't dig what I'm doing. Like, don't waste your time and energy on this. This life is too short, and now it's getting shorter, and there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world. So if this is what you're worried about, you're really pathetic. Like, seriously. I mean, look at everything that's going on. Everything's being affected. But the thing is, people should just start being better to one another, man. Like, I'm just so over the bullshit. But I am, yeah, do I get annoyed? Fuck yeah, you know the shit. It gets fucking annoying, man.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, the people are a pain in the ass, but I will say just one thing for the record. I do disagree on some of that. It's because I think, personally, people are already annoying. So be a dick as much as you want to.
That you are, my friend. Well, as I mentioned, we've got a lot of new things coming out, and of course, my which I think is weird. I have to tell people that's me, but the new one we put out through Syndicate, the first book through Syndicate, once I kind of like, because it's like me getting to do everything over again. Because, like, wow, this book's actually got an ISBN on it. What's
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, everybody laughs about that because, look, I fuck up. I don't care, but everything when it's new, you're learning and you're gonna fuck up. But luckily, we didn't fuck up with other people's books. We knock on wood, we say that, and then we'll put out one of, like, some fucking everything's upside down in the book. Like, that would be.
Well, I'd just be formatting in a different style, John.
mm, mm. Yeah, so that was what the whole Syndicate thing was. Syndicate is because I felt like after a while it's like organized crime. We're just you know what I mean? We were having a lot of problems, inner turmoil, inner turmoil at the frat. Once it always cracks me out, the frat is a humorous thing that if you knew all the drama, there's so much drama behind the humor that it's stress. It it's like, this is supposed to be fun, not like the one place that's crazy, batshit crazy, has the most. If we could put a book out on the drama behind that shit that's happened. Like the legendary frat calls. Once, if you get one of those, you'll never forget it. I'll put it that way. because we're usually all highly intoxicated. And then you learn that we're all dicks. It's not just me. You guys get away. I love it. You two run around like fucking angels, and I run around like, oh, it's Satan.
I mean, that's cooler. But,
That's true. That's true. None of us are. We get drunk, and then we randomly call people. And I love it when the people just randomly call in. You know, like we called them, we didn't get them. All of a sudden, they called in, and then they're crazier than us. That I'm not gonna name names, but that was fucking a blast. You know, I always the people are hated are the most fun.
Dude, I remember whenever I was like too drunk, I was being Dick Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And right before somebody joined the call, I was like, I bet this person's too much of a pussy to join in. Yeah, they popped right up. I was like, oh shit.
Scott, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh my god. We have learned that there's usually no women on the frat calls. I will say that that just never goes well for us.
They're jealous of me.
Huh?
Yes, you're jealous of me.
No, because you're a dick. You are. Like, people don't get, man. You are nuts. And yeah, the frat calls, we really are the misfits, and we really do. You know, there's a couple groups that really do party together. Well, there's quite a few, you know, and that are real friends. But like, I think we legitimately are drinking buddies. Like, even if we're doing it at a distance, we never miss I don't think we ever miss a month. And of course, our livers thank us for that. So, like, yeah, I make up for it, you know, because I call foreign markets.
But yeah, that is really part of the magic of it. It's because like even on the dude, we've been on call actually really bad times too. Like my birthday, that was real fun.
Oh my God, the birthday bash.
I was crying and talking to the floor.
God. Yeah, if people don't know, Scott got fucked up. Like talking to the floor, and then next thing you know, all over the fucking place. My grandma loved that one, didn't she?
I couldn't go into the room for like 2 days because it stunk so bad from all the vomit. Oh man, I was crying too. Lovely.
Oh God, yeah. You tell me about it. I was on that call. I was on that call until you got. I knew that you were gonna be okay. You quit being so damn fucking annoying. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Well, I also thought spitting would take out some of the alcohol from my body.
Oh my God, you're such a dude. You are such a weirdo sometimes. Like, people don't get this. Like, they'll talk to you and they think, "Oh, Scott's such a nice young." Yeah, Scott's fucking nuts. Like, Scott, you are seriously, like, you're an expert marksman and you're fucking crazy. That's fucking, yeah, that's a good combo. So yeah, that's what Scott. He's got a lot of ammo.
Man, get me paranoid.
What? I'm gonna get you paranoid about what?
Stuff like that, I don't know.
Oh, you don't like to admit that you have a cache of ammo? Like, Scott, another thing, Scott's enormously paranoid. So, like, I'm paranoid, but Scott's ultra fucking paranoid. So there you go. And then, of course, me and Ryan like to fuck with you and make you upset. When you're really drunk, you get really fucking mad. It's fucking hilarious. Anyways, yeah, we've got a ton of shit coming out from, well, good. I don't mean, that's just how I talk. We got a ton of stuff coming out from Whiskey City Press. Always a ton of drama. No, things are good thus far. Thus far. You know, of course, pick up the projects that we do invest time in, because you gotta remember, we're not doing this just so we can stroke our egos. It's unlike somebody else. We're doing this because, you know, we push other writers. The Black Shamrock, I'm not saying it because I put it together or because me and Scott put it together, but, you know, it's a hell of a print mag. Seriously, give it a buy. Check it out. You know, give it a buy, whatever the fuck that means. But pick up a copy. Give it a buy, Scott. And yeah, of course, Frank Murphy of the Walls Could Speak, Mine Would Blush, book I'm very proud of. It's a cool book. It's a fun book. if you want something to make you laugh, because I know that one is overall a fun book. There's some serious stuff in there. You know, Frank gets a little naughty, but there's some serious stuff in there. So check that out. I mean, that's what I do them for. Um, of course, John Doyle, John Grenier, a lot of Johns at Whiskey City. Apparently, I want to publish everybody named John in the poetry community. We got Sarah will be coming out, but that's we've got a little ways to go on that one. Mingus, I hope to God I'm saying her name right. And of course Scott Simmons, the never-ending fucking book that we'll see one day.
Well, yeah, I mean it's only like over what 3,000 pages long. It's not that big.
I know it comes with it glows in the dark and comes with some condoms.
Well, a lot of it's actually my manifesto about the government.
Oh yes, that's true. Your conspiracy theory book. You can explain to everybody how Ronald McDonald is giving us the coronavirus. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Once again, we're sorry we've been gone so long. We're gonna be doing Off the Wagon again, coming back and we've got a lot of people set up to be on the show. We've got them set up. Oh, they're gonna start getting paranoid. We're like hanging out and waiting for them to fucking come out of their house. But no, we've got a lot of folks we're gonna get on the show, and just glad to finally bring this back. It's a laid back show. If you'd like to be on the show, contact us. Contact Scott, because Scott loves to set things up. He really does. Or Ryan. Ryan is the man to talk to. He's the wheeler and dealer. A lot of people don't know. He's the muscle behind Whiskey City. He'll beat you up. He seems nice, but he's actually a contracted hitman.
Well, me and Ryan both love human beings so much. So please contact us at any time. It was cool being here, though.
Yeah. So until next time, kids, thanks for listening. That's what we got going on with Whiskey City. Check out all our books, all our authors. We got a lot of really great, as we mentioned, even writers that the books have been out a while. At Bruce Hodder did a really incredible book, The Journey Home. Ryan Quinn Flanagan, The Road to Hell's Paved with Writers. He also did Vegas Poems. I think it's 3. Yeah, it is 3. I don't know why, brain dead. There's a ton of books. Scott Simmons will have one eventually. You can pre-order it now through Scott personally and Ron Murphy. And yeah, so check out what we're doing. Keep listening, and thank you again for going off the wagon with us. Cheers, kids. Good night.